ever dream of turning a side hustle into a real estate empire? Well, today we're taking a deep dive into the world of first-time real estate investing.
Okay.
We've got this webinar template, like it's packed with insider tips. I like to think of it as a treasure map.
Oh, no.
And to help us navigate, we have an expert
Hello?
from Keller Williams, a team that's really built their business on turning real estate education into action.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
So this webinar template, it kicks off with this bold claim.
Go ahead.
Real estate is a millionaire maker.
Okay.
And they point to appreciation and tax advantages, leverage, even the potential for a total career change.
Oh, wow.
You know, I've got to admit, that last one definitely caught my eye. What about you? What jumps out to you from that list?
It's fascinating how they cap into that desire for financial freedom, right? Like
Right.
everyone wants to be a millionaire.
Right.
While real estate can be a powerful wealth building tool, it's important to remember it's not a magic wand. Let's take leverage, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Leverage can amplify your returns, but it also magnifies your risks. Imagine you buy a property with a small down payment, say 20%. If the property value goes up 10%, you've doubled your initial investment. But if it drops 10%, you've lost everything you put in.
Whoa, that's a powerful way to illustrate the double-edged sword of leverage. Now, the slides also touch on the current economic landscape, inflation and all that jazz. And they make the case that real estate is a safe haven. Do you buy that?
Well, the argument is that real estate being a tangible asset, something you can actually touch, holds its value better than, say, cash in a bank account during inflationary periods. While there's some truth to that, it's not a foolproof shield. Think about it. Even real estate can be affected by interest rate hikes or a sudden shift in local market dynamics.
So it's all about context, not
Yeah.
just these blanket statements. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The template suggests that now might be the perfect time to invest in your area. And then they paint this picture of a place with sunshine and beaches and an influx of people escaping pricey states.
Right.
Sound familiar to anyone? Why would this migration pattern matter to a potential investor?
It all boils down to supply and demand.
Okay.
If you've got more people moving into an area than housing available, that typically drives up property values, right? And for investors, that translates to potential for appreciation and higher rental income. It's like they're saying, ride the wave of this migration trend.
Okay, so let's say I'm sold on the why of real estate investing. Now, the million-dollar question is, how do I actually finance this dream? The slides lay out a few options, from good old-fashioned savings to home equity loans, even tapping into retirement accounts. They do throw in a wise disclaimer to talk to your accountant first, which is always a good idea.
That was good advice.
Of these options, which ones pique your interest?
For someone starting out, I'd say understanding the mechanics of a home equity loan is crucial. Basically, you're borrowing against the equity you've built in your existing home. It can be a great way to leverage your current asset to purchase an investment property. However, it's critical to remember that you're increasing your debt burden. So responsible planning is key.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, landlording. Is it a dream of passive income or a nightmare of clogged toilets and late-night calls?
Well, they do acknowledge the potential headaches, which is refreshing. But then they offer solutions, like things like hiring a property management company, focusing on turnkey properties, which are essentially move-in ready rentals, by the way, or targeting specific markets known for low-maintenance properties. What I find interesting is the Keller Williams team echoes this sentiment. They emphasize buying properties in excellent condition and popular locations, essentially minimizing hassle from the get-go.
It sounds like they're trying to appeal to people who want the benefits of real estate investing without the hands-on stress. But where do you even begin to find these elusive deals? The webinar points to networking with agents, hunting for motivated sellers, and good old-fashioned direct mail. But the Keller Williams team adds an interesting twist: community engagement. They use seminars, kind of like this webinar we're analyzing, to position themselves as the local experts.
It's brilliant, really. They're not just waiting for deals to fall into their laps. They're actively creating opportunities by becoming the go-to source of information.
Right.
That builds trust and opens doors to off-market deals, referrals, you name it.
And then they dangle this tantalizing detail. Pinellas County, Florida, properties 10 minutes from the beach, priced between $150,000 $250,000. Like they're saying, come on in, the water's fine. But for a newbie investor, what kind of due diligence would you recommend before jumping into a market like that?
Don't get swept away by the beach vibes just yet. It's crucial to go beyond the surface and research property taxes, insurance costs, potential rental income, and the overall health of the local market. Pinellas County might be their example, but the principle applies anywhere.
Solid advice. Now, the webinar includes a link to a rental property calculator. I know, it sounds a bit dry, but it's actually a pretty cool tool.
Yeah.
You can play with numbers like purchase price, loan terms, rental income, and see potential returns. Why is this more than just number crunching for a first-time investor?
It helps you visualize the financial reality of an investment beyond just the buy low, sell high mantra. It forces you to think about your assumptions. What if the rental income is lower than expected? What if interest rates rise? This type of scenario planning can prevent costly mistakes.
So it's like a financial dress rehearsal before you step onto the real estate stage, and the webinar doesn't stop there. They highlight the value of other resources, books, YouTube channels, podcasts, even paid courses with a sprinkle of affiliate links, of course. What does this tell us about building a real estate investing business?
It's not just about the initial transaction. It's about creating a long-term relationship. They're positioning themselves as trusted guides, offering valuable information even beyond the webinar.
Right.
It's a smart way to build a loyal following.
So it's like a real estate mentorship program in disguise. And speaking of converting those eager learners into clients, the webinar ends with a clear call to action. Text a keyword or book a call directly. The Keller Williams team also stresses the importance of pre-registration and follow-up to maximize conversions. What lessons can we glean from their experience?
It highlights the need for a system, a well-oiled machine that captures leads, nurtures relationships, and ultimately guides people towards becoming clients. They're not just throwing information out there, they're strategically building a pipeline.
And that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive. But hold on tight, because we've got even more insights to uncover in part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of first-time real estate investing.
In part 1, we explored the allure of real estate as a wealth-building strategy, the importance of market research and financing options, and the power of community engagement in finding deals. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the practical side running a real estate investing business.
Right, because the webinar template we've been analyzing isn't just about attracting investors.
Right.
It's also a blueprint for a sustainable business model.
And what's fascinating is how they leverage education as a marketing tool.
Exactly. They're not just selling a product or service, they're establishing themselves as trusted advisors. By offering valuable information up front, they build credibility and create a connection with their audience.
Which is where the insights from the Keller Williams team come in.
Yeah.
They've really mastered the art of turning education into action.
Their seminar strategy is a perfect example. They emphasize the importance of pre-registration, not just for logistics, but to start building that relationship with potential attendees.
It allows them to tailor their presentation to the specific interests and needs of their audience. And they also highlight the power of follow-up. It's not just about closing deals, it's about nurturing relationships that can lead to long-term success.
It all ties back to becoming a local expert. By consistently providing value and staying top of mind, they increase their chances of attracting clients and referrals.
Speaking of expertise, the webinar template also mentions the need for ongoing learning.
Right.
They encourage attendees to explore additional resources like books, podcasts, and courses.
That's a smart move for several reasons.
Yep.
It demonstrates a commitment to continuous improvement and positions the host as a guide, not just a one-time source of information. Plus, it opens up opportunities for affiliate marketing and partnerships.
So it's not just about attracting investors, it's about fostering a community of learners.
Exactly. And that's a powerful concept. When you empower people with knowledge, they become more confident in their decisions and more likely to refer others to you. They become advocates for your brand.
It's a win-win. Now let's bring this back to our listener. Whether you're considering real estate investing or any other entrepreneurial endeavor, the principles are the same.
Invest in your education, build a strong network, and focus on providing value to your audience.
Those are the foundations of a successful business. So let's say you're ready to take the plunge into real estate investing.
Okay.
How do you evaluate a potential investment? The webinar template gives us a glimpse into that process with the rental property calculator.
Which, on the surface, might seem like a simple tool, but it allows you to play with different scenarios and understand the financial implications of your investment.
You can adjust variables like purchase price, rental income, expenses, and loan terms to see how they impact your cash flow and return on investment.
But remember, A calculator is only as good as the data you feed it.
That's where thorough market research and due diligence come into play.
Right. You need to dig deeper and analyze factors like property taxes, insurance costs, potential for appreciation, and the overall health of the local market.
And they pique our interest with Pinellas County, Florida, mentioning its proximity to beaches and relatively affordable properties.
It's a classic example of a market that might appeal to investors seeking cash flow and potential for appreciation.
But every market is unique. What works in Pinellas County might not work elsewhere.
Absolutely. Understanding the dynamics of your target market and conducting thorough research is crucial before making any investment decisions.
And speaking of research, let's circle back to the importance of community engagement. The Keller-Williams team really stressed the value of becoming a local expert.
It's about more than just understanding market trends. It's about building relationships with key players in the industry. Real estate agents, lenders, contractors, property managers, even other investors.
Those connections can provide valuable insights, access to off-market deals, and a support system to help you navigate the complexities of real estate investing.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about building a network that can amplify your success.
And that brings us to another critical aspect of real estate investing, managing risk.
Right. The webinar touches on this briefly with the mention of property management.
They offer solutions like hiring a company, buying turnkey properties, or focusing on specific markets to minimize hands-on work.
Those are all valid strategies, but it's important to understand the trade-offs involved. Hiring a property management company reduces your workload, but it also eats into your profits. Buying turnkey properties can be hassle-free, but it might limit your control and potential returns. Focusing on specific markets can increase your chances of finding good deals, but it also concentrates your risk.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to identify your risk tolerance and choose strategies that align with your goals.
Which brings us to the often overlooked topic of goal setting. The webinar doesn't explicitly mention this, but the Keller-Williams team emphasizes the importance of having a clear vision for your real estate investing journey. What are you hoping to achieve? Are you seeking passive income, long-term wealth accumulation, or perhaps a complete career change? Defining your goals will guide your decisions and help you stay focused. It will also help you measure your progress and make adjustments along the way.
So before diving headfirst into the world of real estate investing, take some time to reflect on your motivations and aspirations.
What do you want to achieve? And how will real estate investing help you get there?
These are questions only you can answer, but having a clear vision will make your journey more purposeful and rewarding.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive.
But don't go anywhere just yet. We've got one more part to go where we'll explore some additional resources and wrap up our exploration into the world of first-time real estate investing. Welcome back, the final part of our deep dive into the world of first-time real estate investing.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have, from the allure of building wealth to the nitty-gritty details of market research and financing.
Yeah, and let's not forget the importance of education, community engagement, and crafting a sustainable business model.
Right. But before we wrap up, I think it's important to touch on something that goes beyond the numbers. I'm talking about additional resources that can really empower you on your real estate investing journey.
Absolutely. The webinar template we've been dissecting, it does a great job of pointing towards a wealth of knowledge that goes beyond the scope of their presentation.
Yeah.
They mention books, YouTube channels, even podcasts, kind of like the one we're doing right now.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, hey, we've given you a taste, but there's a whole buffet of knowledge out there.
Right.
And speaking of buffets, remember that Fannie Mae program we mentioned earlier, HomeView?
Oh, yeah.
It's a free online course designed to guide potential homebuyers through every step of the process.
It's a fantastic resource, especially for anyone who's considering buying their first home.
Yeah.
Whether it's as a primary residence or an investment property, it covers everything from assessing your readiness to buy, saving for a down payment, understanding the mortgage process, all the way to, tips for successful homeownership.
It sounds incredibly comprehensive, but how does it connect with the real estate investing theme we've been exploring?
Well, think of it this way. HomeView provides a solid foundation for understanding the fundamentals of homeownership.
Right.
And that knowledge is essential, even if you're ultimately aiming to become a real estate investor. After all, Many investors start by purchasing their own homes before venturing into rental properties.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like mastering the basics before tackling the more advanced techniques.
Right.
So we've got this webinar focused on real estate investing.
Mhm.
We've got this HomeView course geared toward first-time home buyers. What's the common thread? What are both resources trying to achieve?
Empowerment through knowledge.
Ooh.
Both emphasize the importance of informed decision-making, whether you're buying your first home or building a real estate portfolio. They equip individuals with the tools and information they need to really take control of their financial futures.
And that aligns perfectly with what we aim to do here on the Deep Dive. We want to empower you with knowledge and insights. But remember, information is only as valuable as what you do with it.
That's right. The real question is, what will you do with this information?
Yeah.
Will you delve deeper into the world of real estate investing?
Right.
Or will you focus on becoming a more informed homebuyer?
Either way, the journey begins with that first step. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into first-time real estate investing. We hope you found it insightful, engaging, and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
Remember, knowledge is power, but action creates results.
So take what you've learned, do your research, connect with those local experts, and start building your real estate dreams. Until next time, happy investing.